Hi, Rowanna. How are you?
I'm well, and how are you, Siddharth?
I'm great. And we shall start with the questions. Okay, my first question to you is how did your journey to Kzn Department of Education start?
Okay, so let's start when you are in matric. And when you get to matric, most children or teens rather, they know where they're going, they know what they want to study. And I was just one of those teens that did not know what I wanted to study. So I sent out applications to different universities and no one accepted me. But it so happened that I got accepted into Edgewood campus, UKZN. And so that happened to be the only campus that had accepted me at the time. And it so happened to be teaching. So it wasn't like much of an option at the time. And so I just went to it. So I started studying there for like 2 years, where you study on campus and you do teaching practice in your schools. So you have one-on-one sessions with your lecturers and whatever it is. After 2 years, there was a bit of a struggle financially, so I could not go further with UKZ and I had to fall out of university. So I started working. And while I was working, it so happened I came along a bursary with ISASA, and they are partnered with Investec, Department of Education, and a few other NGOs as well. So there was an application form. I filled that, and it didn't require much. It just needed to know like whether you studied education, you got any experience, have you passed your matric, things like something very general. It's a form. So I filled that in, not expecting much. Didn't think I'm actually gonna, get that bursary. A month later, I get a call, and they were like, "Congratulations, Miss Padayachee, you have received this person. We would like to have an interview with you." I was like, "Okay, yay." But there's an interview process. You have to go through 3 levels of it before you actually receive the person. So 1.5 months later, they called me to Maristella in Durban. That's an all-girls school, and it starts from grade R right up to matric. So we got called in. We had to write an English and mathematics test. And it so happened that I had passed it. So I passed the first stage and I was called in again. So the next call, they called us at Durban Girls High, which is across Maristella. And there we had to be interviewed by a board of directors of education. So you go in one and they question you, why do you want the bursary? So I was asked, why do you want this bursary? What's your reason? I was like, I don't have money to pay for my studies. What other reasons could they be? So immediately they went on to say, okay, so you only need the money. So they were actually looking for, are you here for the teaching or is it do you just need the money for the birthday? So I was quite, disappointed. Like, oh no, I answered this thing wrongly. I'm not getting this. So I waited maybe another 2 months after that. This was somewhere in September. I got the call, Ms. Padayachee, you have been accepted into this bursary. I was absolutely excited that I've got this bursary because the whole country had applied. And out of 6,500 applications at the time, only 65 were chosen. So I managed to get one. And this bursary is also, I think, partnered with CETA, if I'm not mistaken, as well. So they gave me a few emails, asked me to send my details, like your ID documents, your matric, your whatever you studied. So I've sent that all through. And they made arrangements where all the students had to take a bus and we had to reach an X point at Limpopo where they will orientate us and get us registered to UNISA and things like that. So this was new. I'm now leaving my hometown town for the first time. I'm leaving Durban, didn't have much on me, and I'm going with unknown strangers on a bus all the way to Limpopo. On my own. No, no mommy, no daddy, nobody's gonna come there and guide you along the way. You're on your own. So we go there, and and amongst the strangers, they provide everything: your accommodation, your food. There are people there to assist you to get registered for UNISA. So we did all of that. We received orientation. We got to know the people around us. We got to meet the other students that received the bursary because we were going to spend the next 3 years with each other. Every time there was a trip or an orientation program, we were going to be together. So you might as well start getting to know people. So from there, I think a week later, we were sent back home. And the following year, obviously, UNITA has started. And I just started studying. But the rule was we had to be placed in a private school because they wanted to produce a new breed of educators. They didn't want just people who are studying online or studying general campuses. They wanted to have a different produce in teaching. So we need to take the skills from the private school and now apply it to a public school. That was the aim. And it worked. I would say it worked. It was a very good idea. It actually worked. So whatever we learned in the private sector, we now applying it to the public school. That's it. So we had to go to the private schools on a daily basis. We were given a small amount to manage with, which was 3-5. You can't really do much with that, but it was something. So
Mm,
every we
mm,
would receive the stipend, and every 3 to 4 months we call for a trip together to meet lecturers. These lecturers will assist us with the subjects that we were studying. We get time to socialize with each other, spend time with each other, and we had managers there as well, to control this entire program. So this went on for at least 3 years, and I would say I passed pretty well, and I managed to complete my degree with them. So after completing my degree, I was called in 1 month later, and I had to go for an award ceremony. So when we go for this award ceremony, we're now gonna get our award. Like, did you pass well? How many distinctions did you get? And so we got glass trophies. We got to stay in 5-star hotels. Everything was is grand. It was grand.
mm, mm.
So after that trip, I got home. I'm thinking, okay, I got a bursary. The rule is if you got a bursary with them, they will place you. Sadly, I was not placed. I could not get a school, and the school that they were offering was
Oh,
really too far out for us to get into. So, or the option they gave to me was just not working out according to the subjects I studied for. So, what I
mm,
did was I took the reins into my own hands and I started applying to school on my own. And I started doing SGB jobs. And so that went on for another year and a half. So I started off as a remedial teacher. I went on as an SGB teacher, and with time, I became a temporary educator. So I got the first opportunity now to get your PASAL number. As long as you don't have a PASAL number, you are considered a ghost educator. So as an
mm.
educator, you studied and you got a degree. If you have not reached the system, you will be considered a ghost educator. No one knows about you as long as you are not on that database. But with time now, I see the Department of Education has opened up a database where you can now register yourself and you can see that you exist. But at that point, that was not there. So going forward from there, I received another temporary post, and all of this happened in the same school. I was lucky enough to have this in the same school at Morelands Primary School. Eventually, I was out of a job, and it's back to square one now to start again to look for a post. Luckily enough, a month later, I was placed in the same exact school permanently. So I got a letter from the Department of Education stating, Ms. Padayachee, you are now permanently placed at Morelands Primary School, and please resume for duty at a particular date. And so I went to school at a particular date, and it went well from that day onwards. So that's the whole history of it.
Okay. What inspired you to join the education sector?
I would say when I was in primary school, it was always a mindset that I want to give back to my community. So
Oh,
what are what are the one of the ways you can give back? Your knowledge. So use what you know and you can give it out. And so you give it out to your children, what you have learned, what you know. You give out your skills to your kids. So that's exactly
mm,
what inspired me.
okay. Who are the people that you look up to in this sector?
One of the people I look up majorly is Zolani Cleo Majola. He was my manager at ISASA, better known as Samsung now. And he was the man that never gave up on me. He believed in me, and he was the one that, no, this girl is definitely going to get this degree. She's definitely going to be an educator. And he's a very well-known educator, former educator. He's involved in the Department of Education. He's been on radio and still is. He's doing lots of things in the education sector. So if anybody I look up to, it's him.
Okay. What have been your highs on this education journey thus far?
My highs, I would say it's getting a form class because when you get a form class, That's when now you get to be on your own. No one's, on your back and, guiding you. You are basically faced with 45 children and you're by yourself. And this is where you see your skills come into play. How do you handle 45 children, get the discipline in order, maintain a lesson, and do what you need to do on a daily basis? So that's a great thing, getting a class and having that opportunity to do that. So that was definitely a high for me. Um, the other thing would be, other than being in the classroom, I had the opportunity to put my hand into things that is out of the classroom. So I have a principal that, gets us involved in different aspects like sport, excursions, handling functions in the school, awards programs. So now you get to do something that's not in the classroom. So you gain experience with these different things. I got the chance to meet other educators from other schools. I got to socialize with other people in the Department of Education. And so that broadened with time. So it's not me just being in the classroom. So those were my highs.
Hello, can you hear me there?
Nice, Raj. Yes, I can hear you.
I'm so sorry there for that connection blip. I couldn't hear your answer regarding your highs.
The highs. Okay, let me go. You want me to go through them again? Sure, sure. So the highs, as I was saying, that I had the opportunity to do things that is out of the classroom. Normally, when you study to become an educator, your mindset is, I'm only going to be in the classroom. I'm only going to be in the front teaching children. But with the opportunity that I have been given with my principal, I've been able to do things that outside the classroom. So I've been able to handle sporting programs, excursions, a fun walk, an awards day, different things. And I got to meet other educators. I got to socialize with other educators, get to know people in the Department of Education. And so that broadens. I'm no longer like stuck in the classroom now. So I've been
Hmm.
exposed to other things. Going for workshops, okay. You've been educated further now. So those are my highs.
Any lows, if any?
Thus far, I can't say any lows. The only thing I can tell you as an educator, get ready to work 24/7. It permeates your home life. You can completely forget that teaching stops at 2:30 or 3, private school, whatever time that ends. So get ready for, 24/7 working.
Okay, finally, any words of inspiration for people that want to enter the education sector?
The most important thing that I would like to say to anyone that wants to, get involved in education, do not step into the field because you think, okay, I'm going to have a secure salary and I'm getting public benefits. You need to know that when you get in here, it's not for the money. We are here for
Hmm.
the children. Get ready for good days, get ready for bad days. Get ready, to enter anything. Because the moment you step into school, you do not know what you're going to experience. You don't know what parents is going to say to you, what your learner is going to do, what's going to happen in the day. So if you're stepping into this field, step for the right reason to impart knowledge in our kids and to make sure the children of South Africa are growing. That's what we want. We want knowledge. We want our youth to achieve. So that's definitely what I would like to say.
Thanks so much for your time and hopefully the first of many.
Sure, you are welcome. I hope I was informative as I could be. And thanks so much for the opportunity for that.
Thanks so much for your patience with all the network
Sure,
problems. And yeah, we shall catch up soon.
sure, sure. Anytime. Take care, Siddharth.
You too.